a quiet village surrounded by rolling hills, stood a mountain that everyone admired but rarely climbed. People said its peak touched the clouds, and those who reached the top would find not gold or treasure, but wisdom, a lesson life reserved only for those willing to earn it. Among the villagers lived a young dreamer. He often gazed at the mountain from his window, promising himself that one day he would climb it. Yet days passed, and his dream stayed trapped in words. Every morning, he'd say, "Tomorrow, I'll start." And every evening, he'd whisper the same promise again. Time, patient but relentless, moved on. At dawn one day, an old traveler visited the village. He saw the dreamer staring at the mountain and asked, "Why do you always look at it, but never climb?" The dreamer replied, "I want to, but it's too far, and the path looks difficult. I'll go when I'm ready." The traveler smiled faintly, his weathered face calm. "The mountain won't wait forever," he said quietly, leaving as gently as he had arrived. The words stayed with the dreamer. That night, he couldn't sleep. He watched the moon drift above the mountain and wondered what it would feel like to stand at the top. As the stars flickered, he decided to stop waiting for the perfect time. Before dawn, he packed a small bag with bread, water, and hope and began his climb. The first few hours were easy. The air was cool, the birds sang, and the path felt almost welcoming. He thought to himself, "This isn't so bad. Maybe it won't take long." But as the sun climbed higher, the rocks sharpened, the trails steepened, and hunger crept in. Fatigue made each step heavier than the last. He paused under a tree, sweat dripping from his brow, and considered turning back. Then, he noticed an old carving on a nearby stone. The words read, "The higher you climb, the clearer the view." Something inside him stirred. He took a deep breath and continued. Each step became a battle between doubt and determination. Clouds gathered above, rain poured, and thunder echoed through the valley, but he pressed on. The thought of quitting returned again and again until he remembered the traveler's words, "The mountain won't wait forever." By nightfall, his legs trembled and his mind screamed for rest. He found shelter under a narrow ridge, ate the last of his bread, and fell asleep to the rhythm of the rain. When morning came, the clouds had cleared and sunlight painted the world in gold. The dreamer looked up. He was halfway there. Looking back, he saw the village far below, small and silent, almost unreal. For the first time, he realized how far he'd come. The fear that once held him back had turned into quiet strength. 2 days passed as he climbed higher. He slipped, stumbled, and even cried once, but he refused to stop. Every scar became a reminder of how badly he wanted to see what the mountain hid at its peak. Finally, on the 4th day, he reached the summit. The wind howled softly through the stones. There was no gold, no hidden temple, only a wooden sign carved with simple words. You did not climb to find treasure. You climbed to find yourself. The dreamer stood in silence, tears mixing with the mountain breeze. He looked out over the horizon. The land stretched endlessly. Rivers shone like silver veins. Clouds drifted beneath his feet. In that moment, he understood what the mountain had always meant. It was never about reaching the top. It was about starting when the heart said not yet. It was about facing doubt, struggle, and pain and still choosing to move. The true wisdom wasn't at the summit. It was gathered along the path. When he finally descended, the villagers saw him differently. He spoke little, but his calm smile told stories that words couldn't hold. His clothes were torn, his hands rough, yet his eyes shone with peace, the kind that only comes from doing something fully, with no more waiting, no more tomorrow. From that day on, whenever others said they would climb one day, he would simply say, "Start now." The mountain will not wait. Waiting for the perfect time makes you lose the time you already have. Success does not come from readiness, but from the courage to begin despite fear. The mountain may stand still, but life will not.